Hello. Hi. Hello. I can see some are already joining. Hello. Hi. So I'm Raphael. Yes, coucou. I can see some of you are already here. We're going to wait for a few minutes. I'm hosting the third live cooking session with Marcel. As you know, we're still in lockdown in Singapore, and we thought tonight we're going to propose something slightly different. We are going to cook some raw vegan brownies. So I'd advise you don't mention to anyone it's raw and vegan before they try it. They might have some apprehension. But trust me, they're really good, yummy, and I'm sure everyone will like it. Hello, I see you're joining. So we're going to wait a little until like maybe 6:02, something like that, to be sure everyone has joined the meeting. So tonight we're baking together some raw brownies, and I've decided to add cashew cream to go with it. So hello, hi everyone, hey, hello Juliette. Yeah, so I think we're gonna start in a few minutes. Hi Amel. I can see I have French and English speaking people joining, but we'll do everything in English. After the video is finished, I will publish the recipe tomorrow on Merci Marcel account, and I will also share it on my blog, maybe on YouTube. So I will give you all the information in case you couldn't join the entire session or you missed something. Okay, so I think we have, hello Amel, we have almost everyone on, and for those who join later, I can recap. So we're gonna start, and as I was saying to everyone, tonight we're making raw vegan brownies. They're vegan because we're not using, like in usual brownies, any egg or dairy. So this is kind of specific, and it's only working thanks to the addition of nuts. And they're raw, and it's a good introduction to raw food. We're not eating raw food 100% of the time at home, but sometimes it's good because when you eat raw, you keep more of the enzymes and the nutrients you have in your food. I would say it's a bit less important for like desserts, but when you're eating like veggies and fruits, raw is quite a good thing to look at. So as a gateway to raw vegan food for your entire family, we're making these very yummy treats. And I'm gonna start now with the brownies. You should all have the ingredient list, and you should all have prepared your mise en place. So I'm gonna recap everything that you need. You're gonna see it's super easy. The only thing you need is the ingredients and also a blender, okay? A high-speed blender. So I have a Thermomix at home. If you don't have any, just use a regular high-speed blender. I don't see any question. If you have any, just ask. But I'm going to proceed with the ingredients, and just make sure you have everything you need. So walnuts, you need 190 grams of those. Just one mention, I had said in the recipe, it was better to have activated nuts. If you are vegan and you do eat a lot of nuts and seeds, it's always better, because if they are not activated, they have some like phytic acid coating that prevents them from germinating and also helps them keeping longer. But the thing is that it can prevent the absorption of some nutrients. If you're not vegan or you eat nuts, you know, now and then, no worries. And if you don't have activated nuts for tonight, that's not an issue. And basically activated nuts, you can buy them. You can also make it yourself by soaking the nuts in some water and a bit of salt overnight, and then, you know, rinsing them and just drying them. So this is super easy if you want to do it. But once again, if you're not eating vegan often, and if you don't eat nuts and seeds all the time, no need to bother. It's always better. I can see people are still joining. Hello. So 190 grams of walnuts, either activated or not, okay? We're going to need also almonds or any other nuts you had in your cupboard. I like the almonds because those are super rich in actually healthy fats like omega-3, you know, which like are super good for your cholesterol, the good one. They are super fat, which is going to make those those brownies very gooey and very moist. And like to contrast a little, we're going to add in mine some just basic almonds. I like to keep the one with the skin. If you prefer to have nuts that are like, I don't know, walnuts or Brazil nuts, pecans, macadamia, whatever you have in your pantry, that's fine, okay? It will work perfectly fine. And actually, if you like toasty nuts, you're not compelled to make like 100% raw brownies, so you can even toast those ones if you'd like, okay? So to recap, 190 walnuts and 100 grams of those other nuts, which are almonds in my case, okay? Then I had mentioned to you, you should have dates. We're using dates as you know, the sugar in those brownies, no other sugar added. So they're going to bring the sugar and also the texture, okay? To combine everything all together, it will be mostly the dates. So some might think it's a lot of dates. Well, usually when you make brownies, you're going to use like 300 grams of sugar anyway, and those are not only sugar, okay? They do have lots of fibers and good nutrients. So we're making some comfort vegan food, so don't be afraid of the quantity of dates. You definitely need those. And if they were not soft enough, you should have soaked them a little bit. That was also in my recommendation. If you didn't do it, you can use them with me right now. When we're going to process it, you might need to add a little bit of water, okay, to make everything bind all together. Okay, so that's for the dates. One mention usually in vegan recipe, they will say use medjool. I love those, but I mean, I think they're so nice that I would recommend to have them as snacks and not use them or spoil them in cakes, in vegan cakes. But if you have medjool, that's even better. You know, they are like very sweet and they've got this caramel taste that makes it even nicer, okay? So just make sure your dates are soft enough and pitted, obviously, okay? So we need 420 grams of those. Okay, I apologize. I realized that I had a little mistake. For the cacao, you need 110 grams, okay? So for those who prepare the ingredients and make the nice mise en place, like I recommend you do, just add some cacao. It should be 110 grams, and I think I had put 80, so just add a little bit. Otherwise, I mean, it won't be as chocolatey as it needs to be. I had mentioned to use raw cacao. Again, this is better from a nutrition standpoint. It's got like more nutrients, it's unprocessed, whereas if you use you know, regular cocoa powder, it will be processed at high temperature, so it will kill some of the good nutrients, especially the enzymes, and in some of them there's sugar added. So in any case, in this recipe, you should use, you know, the basic cacao powder with no added sugar, okay? Otherwise it's going to be too sugary. Trust me, you have enough with the dates. The last thing which I wanted to add was some cacao nibs. So again, chocolate is a very healthy ingredient if you take the very dark one with no sugar added, and the cacao nibs are just the real cacao nibs, which are a bit bitter. But in this recipe, they will bring extra texture and crunchiness. But if you don't like it or couldn't find it, that's not a big deal. It will work just fine just using the nuts. So no need to bother if you couldn't find any. If you have some, just sprinkle 2 tablespoons of those, and it will bring that little kick that you like when you're biting them. Okay, and last, you need a bit of sugar. So it's 1/4 of a teaspoon, okay? 1/4 of a teaspoon. If you want to omit it, that's fine, but it's always better to bring this little like kick that you'll have from the sea salt, sorry, not sugar. So sea salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon, okay? No question, so I guess everything is clear, but I had told you it was a super easy recipe, no baking involved. Just we need now to process in our blender. So I'm going to use the Thermomix. If you have a high-speed blender, whatever you have at home, use it. We are not blending, you know, very hard nuts, so it should work all fine, okay? So we're going to start by blending those beauties, and by doing that, we want to achieve a kind of a flour texture, okay? So don't over-process it. It should be like your almond meal or almond flour. Basically, those are going to replace the flour, okay? So it's going to make a little bit of noise in the background, so sorry for that. I think at home will be the same. So I'm going to do it, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients. So just, you know, blend. I will show you the texture you should get, okay? So I don't know what you have at home, but use whatever you have, and I will show you what you should get as a texture. Okay. By the way, if you couldn't find walnuts in this recipe, you could use almond and use almond flour, okay? It will be slightly different. It will be a bit more sticky, a bit less rich, because I mentioned that walnuts are super rich, like it's 60% fat, healthy fat, but it's really fattier than almonds. Almonds are a bit drier, but it can work also. So it's, if you only have almonds, just process your almonds instead of walnuts, okay? So I'm going to make some noise now. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think it should be fine. Just gonna check. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the texture I have right now. Looks like that. It's sandy. It's still a bit too crumbly, okay? So you need more like, you know, your almond flour, which is not as crumbly. So just process it a little bit more. I'll do it. You should not process it too much, otherwise it's gonna get too oily, and then that's what you want to avoid, okay? So I'm gonna process it a bit more. You should do the same, or you wait for me if you're in advance. Okay. Okay, no, doesn't want to work. Hello, no questions still? Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, sorry, because my thing is at the back, so I'm turning my back, but I'm still with you guys. Okay, so now it's starting to be like more like little breadcrumbs. It's thinner, okay, and it's going to become oily if I continue. So this is the texture I want to get. Once again, if it's more than that, it's going to turn into like nut butter, which is not what you want to get. So this is the right texture, okay? So what we're going to do then is we're going to add the chocolate, okay? So your raw cacao, you add your chocolate, and you're going to pulse a little bit just to get it like, you know, mixed all together. So for those who are joining now, it's 110 grams of raw cacao powder. It's not 80 as I had mentioned. And you should add also your salt at this stage, so 1/4 of a teaspoon, okay? And we're just going to pulse a few times just to blend everything all together. So you see, not much technique involved. I don't know who said that even raw cakes were difficult to make, but those ones are not, okay? So just mixing, okay?